My name's Brandon. I'm a world traveler, foodie, and YouTuber. Together, you and I will find the best travel hacks, tips, and best places to explore. Join me as we find new adventures together, live only on IBM.TV. Hello and welcome everyone to the show. This is Best of Travel. My name's Brandon, and for the next hour, I am going to tell you all about travel. I have to admit something before I get started, though. I was practicing before the show. I'm on a little rolly office chair, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could start backwards, like Dr. Evil in one of those movies, and swing around and mwahahaha. But I realize I have all these cords everywhere, so I don't know that I'll be able to pull that off. But maybe next week I'll figure out how to have a dramatic entrance into the show. Welcome to the show. If you don't know me, my name's Brandon. I travel. I'm a foodie. I make videos, and IBM TV has so graciously given me the next hour to talk to you about travel. So you can get some great travel tips, some travel hacks, some creative ways to make sure you have the best trip every time. Of course, we're not traveling right now. We're all stuck at home, cooped up. So it's the perfect time to watch travel videos online, watch the stream every Tuesday at 11, and kind of plan your next trip, learn how to achieve travel perfection, so that way when we are ready to travel again, you're ready too. And I'm very excited for that day to come. One day we will get there. One day indeed. But the best part, of course, is that this is live. We're live every Tuesday at 11. So if you're watching, leave a comment below. If you're watching on YouTube, just pop it right in there in the live chat. Or you can visit the IBM TV Facebook page and drop a comment below with your travel questions, your travel curiosities, anything you want to know. I've as you know, if you watch this show, I fall down every tangent you can imagine. So I'm sure I'll take your question and just spend years telling stories to answer it, which is what I like to do. But today we have a really special, interesting topic that I'm very excited about. We are talking about the long-awaited show. It's been like a month I've been teasing this out. The long-awaited episode. We're moving to Canada. Big announcement. Hey, no, I'm not really moving to Canada. But we are finally, after the last month of me playing with the idea, we're going to talk about immigration. We're going to talk about how to immigrate to another country. So I'm doing this as a bit of a tip of the hat to Bill. Bill, if you're watching, little tip of the hat to you. Everybody, every 4 years, every election cycle starts to say, boy, if so-and-so wins, I'm leaving the country. I'm moving to Canada. Boy, if this happens, I'm moving to Canada. We hear that every 4 years, it seems, a group of people. Well, boy, if this party or that party takes office, I'm leaving the country. So I've got the answers for you. We're going to do it. We're going to actually figure out how to do it today. And it's going to be I'm very excited. I picked, originally when I was planning this episode, I picked 5 countries. I picked a couple countries that I do have visas for, and I do have a work permit in, not a permanent resident, but a work permit in. And I picked a couple countries that I didn't, and I started going through the process of, well, how, what's the visa process and how do I lay it out? And a lot of them were very tough. A lot of them were very, very hard to get through. So I thought, well, Canada, let's do that. They're fairly easy as far as the immigration process is compared to some other countries. And that's kind of the tongue-in-cheek reference, right? As everybody says, I'm moving to Canada. So let's do it. We're moving to Canada today. We're going. Now, first things first, if you're interested in immigrating to another country, if the election doesn't go the way you want and you're ready to flee, well, you're already too late. You're going to need a visa. And this is something that takes a lot of planning and a lot of prep work. So you're already too late. If you're waiting for election day to flee the country, too late. You're too late. You needed to start this process months ago. So let's look at visas in Canada. Let's talk a little bit about the kind of visas they offer. We can get a number of different visas, right, to go to a country. And Americans aren't used to having to get visas for a lot of countries because our passport has been so powerful. It's not anymore, so we're going to have to get used to this process. But we're going to need a visa. So we're going to get, maybe say, let's call the visitor's visa. Let's get that one. That's a visitor's visa. It lets us stay in Canada for 6 months. Perfect. 6 months, great. That's enough time for me to go visit, see if I like the weather. see if I like the maple syrup, and decide whether or not I would want to move to Canada. So here's what you're going to start with. First, you got to get your fingerprints done. Inky blot fingerprints. Got to get those done. That's going to be a first step for a lot of visas to get those old fingerprints done, because a lot of countries are going to require some sort of background check, some sort of make sure you're not a crazy person, and also to put you into the system to ID you, so that way if you do break the rules of the visa, they can capture you. So depending on the visa you're going to get and the country you're going to go to, you can get this done in different places. For this visa, if we're immigrating not immigrating, we're taking a visitor's visa, a 6-month visa to Canada. Usually police station, sheriff's office, they're fine. You can go there. You can do the fingerprinting for the background checks. You got to get on the website, the Canadian website, which is canada.ca/en/immigration -refugees-citizenship. It's a long URL. Just Google it. It's long. But they'll tell you the specific form you need for your fingerprints. You got to do your left hand, you got to do your right hand. You plop, plop, plop down on the thing. You also have to be really careful and read the fine print, because depending on the kind of visa you're getting, say we're moving to Canada, but anywhere, there's certain visas you have to get digital fingerprints versus like on paper fingerprints. And a lot of places that do fingerprints now will do fingerprints on a scanner. They'll scan it on like a flatbed and make a digital copy. Some visas won't allow that. So you do have to really read all the details here. Of course, you could just hire a lawyer too, but we're doing this for fun all the way. So we're getting our visitor's visa. We've got our fingerprints done. We're going to swing by our local CVS, our local Walgreens, or our post office, and or the DMV, and we're going to get a passport photo taken. You know, one of those mug shots on the white background, standard passport photo. Then comes the paperwork. You gotta fill out all that paperwork. This visa, by the way, is officially called a temporary resident visa. They're known as TRVs. TRVs. So we're gonna need to get together all the paperwork. We got our application filled out. We got our fingerprints sent in. Now we need documents, and we're gonna need a lot. We're gonna need a document that shows we're leaving Canada when the end of our stay is. So if you can buy a plane ticket back home, that's great. Shows that you're moving on. You're going to prove that you have enough money in the bank to maintain your family and also to return home at the end of your stay, because you can't work while you're on this visa, and you can't go to school while you're on this visa. You also can't commit a crime. So, don't go standing up. Don't go standing up anybody on the street and mugging them or anything. Now, this is where you get into some gray area, because define enough money to sustain your family and to return home while you're not working for those 6 months. It's going to be different for everybody. There's different amounts. What one person thinks is enough, another person might not. So it can get a little sticky here, right? Also, if you're an American citizen or even a Mexican citizen and you're driving, it's going to be hard to show intent to travel onward, right? So we've got all our paperwork now. We've got our birth certificates. We've got our application. We've got our fingerprints. We've got all our documentation. You can do a lot of this online. You can send the actual application in online. Eventually, they'll let you know. Chances are you'll have to go into, some sort of embassy, state office, something along those lines to actually get the visa sorted out and to have an interview to do it. 50% of the time, too, you're going to need a medical examination. Even before this pandemic time, you're going to need a doctor to look at you and make sure you're not, showing up in bad shape. So that's the process to start getting this visa. Now, here's where we get into the fun stuff. Here's where it gets crazy. Are you ready? Hold your chair. Hold your chair. Get a glass of wine. It's 11 a.m. It's pandemic. Get a glass of wine because it's going to get crazy. That visa, this visitor's visa, the TRV, is only good for 6 months, and you can't work and you can't study. So if you're one of those folks who says, I'm moving, I'm going, and I'm going to live there, I'm gonna pledge allegiance to Tim Hortons and to Putin. If you're actually going to immigrate to Canada, the easiest way for most people to start is Canada's Express Entry program, because they're a very friendly nation, and they have an Express Entry program. It's basically like American Idol, but for immigration. Yeah, sound pleasant? No, not at all. Sounds not pleasant to me if you ask me. So the kind of basic principle of this program, this express entry program, is that when you apply, based on your application and parts of your application, they award you points. You get so many points based on what kind of job you're going to have, what kind of training you have, how much money you have. You get awarded points. If you get enough points, and we don't really know what the magical number is, but if you get enough points, you get put into a big old pool with everybody else, and then they kind of lottery it out. And it's just kind of random. The government decides just who they're going to let in from that pool. So even if you make the pool, even if you are the best applicant, you might not get picked. Still, very possible. But to do this first, before we get that far, we're applying for this visa. First things first, we need a job, and a pretty good one too. It's best to see if you can find an employer in Canada to sponsor you through this process. But regardless, you want to find a job that meets it's called the Federal Skilled Worker Program. FSCP, I think is what the acronym. Basically, it's a category listing of jobs that require level 7 English, which is hard to define, I think, or French proficiency, and a job that is a management level job with a college degree or a trade job that you've gotten via an apprenticeship. In other words, they want to see that you got a career. You can't be working at the Starbucks, or I guess the Tim Hortons in Canada. They want to see that you are fluent in the language and you've got a solid job. You've worked up a career. You've got some experience beneath you. You've got a degree. You've had an apprenticeship. You're working in that field successfully. Now, side note, here's another tangent. See, this is why I told you it's going to be an episode. If you do get a job from a Canadian company, you're going to want to not quite do this. You're going to want to look at something called the Provincial Nominee Program, which is a whole nother hour of episode I think we could do. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're thinking, oh, I just thought you kind of moved to Canada, just know that Canada's immigration process is actually fairly straightforward. It's fairly easy to follow. Immigrating to the United States, on the other hand, is not easy to follow, and there are stories of it taking upwards of 20 years for people to actually successfully immigrate. So it's a fairly easy country. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, spaghetti-o. Now, the nice thing about something like Canada is they have a little BuzzFeed quiz. They have an online quiz that you can take to see if you're going to be eligible for this visa program. And the quiz is, I haven't taken it. I haven't even looked at it. I thought, what better way to spend an hour with you than to show you how awful it is and how mind-numbing it can be sometimes to go through this process. So you and we're going to do it together. We're going to do it right here on the air. This is the quiz. This is the location of the quiz. So we're going to click check our eligibility, and we're going to see what happens. So this is to find out whether or not we're eligible to apply for residency. So let's give it a shot, huh? So first question, what province or territory do I plan to live in? Well, I guess I got to exit this and go find a place to live, huh? Let's assume I've made plans and I know I'm going to live in, I don't know. What's pretty? What's a good place? Any Canadians watching this show, where should I pick? Where should I go? I think I'm going to go Alberta. Let's do Alberta. Easy place. Let's pick that. Now, I need to submit my language test results for all programs under Express Entry, even if English or French is my first language. Which language test did I take for my first official language? See, you see what I'm saying? We were 2 questions in. We've already had to stop and go back to the drawing board. We've had to stop to figure out exactly where we're going to live, or where we think we're going to live. And we've had to stop to figure out what the test is we need to take. So let's assume I've taken, I don't know, pick a test. Let's assume I've taken it. You got to have a career mark. Mark comments, what do you mean we can't work for Starbucks or McDonald's? You could apply with what they would consider a low-level skilled job. But if you do, you're not going to get any points. You're not going to get put in that pool. You might, but you maybe not. They want to see somebody with a career, a doctor, lawyer, and all those people who have college degrees who think that they're on top of the world. No, No, I'm just kidding. Mark says, do you have to speak French? Foreign language kicked my backside. You don't have to speak French because we're moving to an English-speaking country. So we can stick with our English. Now, I will say that if you're going to move anywhere where English is not the official language, you do have to learn that language. You got to learn it. So let's assume I know English pretty well, I think. I can say words like kerfuffle and quintessence and Babadook. Oh, that's a character from a horror film. Happy Halloween, everyone. So let's assume, okay, English is my first language. I've taken this test. And if you ever want to get real bored, maybe one day we'll do a live stream of me taking an English test. It's not fun. We're not going to do it because it's just hours of me going, wait, if there and there and there and there are grammar, and it's awful. So let's assume I've taken it. I got my test. My test results say that I can speak English okay. So we're going to submit that. Now I'm going to say I took that test. Let's say I took it last year in March. Actually, my birthday is in April. So let's pick April. Abril. Anybody know how to say April in French? I don't. April in French. I can't. I don't even know my months. Okay, so let's say I took it on April 5th. There's my English language test. If you're just joining the stream, we're learning how to run away in case the election goes the way you don't want it to go. And people say this every 4 years. We're going to run away. So we're doing it. We're running away. We're running to Canada. We took our English language test, let's say, in April of 2019. And let's see what's next. Now, what was my test score for speaking? I think a 9 is good. What do you think, commenters, people watching? Leave a comment. What do you think my, assuming 3 is the lowest and 9 is the highest, what is my English speaking ability? I do have a certificate from Harvard for public speaking. I took the online course in March when I was real bored at home. So we're going to say it's pretty high, right? I think I can speak okay. I mean, the folks here at IBM TV let me come do this for an hour. Maybe I can't. Maybe I'm speaking a different language. So let's say it's an 8. Ankit says, "Hi, Ankit. I think this is your first comment on the public stream. The weather in Canada from east to west. What's the best city to live in Canada? Well, it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, you got your big cities. You got your Toronto. You got your big city areas if you're interested in skiing and things like that. I think weather-wise, always a safe bet is to go in Canada. Most of the major places to live are southern Canada. So weather's not too crazy different from the northern United States in that area. So if you kind of follow that pattern, you won't be too far off. A little colder, a little grayer, a little rainier. I love Banff National Park. If you've never been, it's beautiful. So now my test score for listening to English. Well, I'm a pretty bad listener. I'm pretty bad. Mark says, can I spell Carmageddon? Well, you just wrote it out there, Mark. I think I can spell supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I could say, okay, I can spell that. It's supercalifragilisticexpialidicious. Don't know why I know that, but I do. So let's say I'm not as good. I 7.5 for listening, not listening well. Reading, I'm pretty good at reading. I like to read. I read a lot in school. I don't read as much now as I'd like, so let's give me an 8. Let's give me an 8 there. My test score for writing. Oh, how's my grammar? Oh no. How's my grammar? Well, I took AP English in high school to test out of it in college, and I didn't get a perfect score. Still bitter about that, if you're watching, Mr. Wazowski. Not that it's your fault. I failed the test. I didn't fail. I just didn't get a perfect score. So let's say, same thing. We're looking at a scale of 3 to 9. Let's say my writing's only a 7. It's not great. It's not great writing. Next page. Now, do I have any other language results? No, let's say I just took the one test. I didn't take another one, so we're going to put none. And the next question says, in the last 3 years, how many years of skilled work experience do I have in Canada? It must have been full-time or an equal amount in part-time. Well, I'm not sure I understand the question. an equal amount in part-time, meaning you worked enough part-time hours that it might as well have been full-time. Well, let's look and see what the skill. Oh, I'm not signed in. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, we can't look and see what skilled work experience is because we have to sign in. So I guess we'll just have to assume that hosting a live stream for IBM TV does not count as skilled work experience. But I've worked at management levels in some companies. So let's say I have about a year, right? I've been working at my job as a manager, skilled manager, about a year. That sounds good. Mark says, you might need to know how to approach a Mountie, just like we need to know how to approach a regular U.S. police officer. I think I would feel, I don't want this show to become political, but I will say, I think I would feel way safer with a rabid Mountie horse, a horse Mountie on a horse, and the Mountie fell off and the horse is now rabid and chasing people around. I'd feel probably safer with that than with U.S. police forces most of the time. But we won't make the show political. It's too late. I ruined it. I ruined the show. So we had less than 1 year of skilled work experience. And during this period, which national occupation classification do I have the most experience in? Professional occupations, these are my options. Professional occupations, technical occupations, and skilled trades or managerial occupations. Now, we need to look at the definition of this, right? But we're making this up. I'm an imaginary person applying for citizenship. So not even citizenship, just to get in, just to be a resident and work there. So let's say I worked as a manager at the office, the Cubicle Office Incorporated. So I'm a manager there. So I'm going to select skill type 0, managerial occupations. We're opening an office in Canada, a cubicle office in Canada. We don't make cubicles, and we don't work in cubicles. We pressure wash cubicles. That's what my imaginary. I'm the manager of Pressure Washing Cubicle Corporation. Thank you, Mark. Mark says, as an IBM producer and host, I have a technical skill and a professional skill set. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Okay. Now, I feel like, didn't we answer this? Do you see what I'm saying? Y'all see how I'm not going crazy, right? I'm not going crazy. This is impossible. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm answering questions twice. I'm complaining a lot. I should just get back to it. I should just get back to the quiz. Okay, stop complaining, Brandon. You're running away. In the last 10 years, how many years of skilled work experience do I have? It must have been continuous, paid, full-time, and only in one occupation. Well, due to the pandemic, but let's say me as Brandon working for the Cubicle Pressure Washing Corporation of America and Canada, I've been there for 2 years. So we're going to select 2 to 3. Now, the next question, this is a novel. Look at this question. In the last 5 years, do I have at least 2 years of experience in one of these types of jobs? Industrial, electrical, construction, maintenance, equipment operation, supervisors and technical jobs, agriculture, processing, manufacturing, utility supervisors, control operator. No, I was just the manager of the pressure washers of cubicles. So I'm going to say none. Wouldn't this be terrible if I'm not eligible at the end of this quiz? What a letdown this whole episode would be. If we both find out at the same time that I'm not eligible to run away to Canada. How much money in Canadian dollars will I bring to Canada? I'm confused. As in my bank or like in cash in my glove box? Because that's not good, right? You don't bring a bunch of cash in your glove box. The government of Canada does not give financial support to new immigrants. You must prove you have enough money that is not bound by debts. See a table in which shows you how much money you will need to immigrate to Canada. Nope, can't do that because I'm not signed in. And this is the easy part, believe it or not. This isn't even the application. We're just taking the quiz to see if we're eligible for the application. We haven't even gotten to the application yet. I haven't even done the fingerprints. It's crazy. So let's ballpark this. What do you think? What do you think, folks? I'm going to make, how much money am I going to bring in? So let's say I'm working as a manager at the pressure washing cubicle company. Let's say they're paying me $40,000 a year to manage that. So I'm going to select the only option I have, which is $34,299 or more. Now, how many family members do I have? Well, I'm working for the cubicle pressure washing company, so let's assume my family has abandoned me. So let's just say it's just me. It's just the one. Just little old me and my pressure washing company. I just think that's a great idea for a company. You would make no money, you would have no customers, and no one would understand what you do if you said you were the manager of a cubicle pressure washing company. Huh? Isn't that great? For made up companies, I do well. Do I have a valid job offer in Canada? Meaning a full-time job, continuous for at least 1 year, not by an embassy, consulate, or high commission, or anybody on the naughty list. Who's on the naughty list? Oh man, I can't even tell. I can't even look at the naughty list. All right, so let's assume I'm working for this company. They're opening an office in Canada. Good to go. We've got lots of cubicles to pressure wash, so we're gonna say yes. Now, what is my date of birth? Well, we're gonna fictional me, because I'm not about to get, listen, y'all gonna hack in, y'all gonna get this information, you'll be hacking into my bank accounts. you be my identity theft. So we're gonna make this up. But let's say I'm actually 26 years old, I'll tell you that. But let's say I was born in 2000, so I'm 20. And I want to go to Canada to drink because let's say, gosh, what a terrible time it would be to be a teenager right now with the pandemic. So, all right. So let's say I was born in February 15th of 2000. What is the highest level of education for which I have earned a Canadian degree, diploma, certificate? Oh my gosh, I'm just bored to tears. The highest level of education, I did not go to school to become a pressure washer of cubicles. You think I went to college for that? No. Have I studied in Canada? No. Do I have at least 2 years of full-time work experience in Canada? No, I haven't. We're about to go to Canada. I have a relative in Canada who's 18 years or older. I don't. So none of the above. Perfect. Next, my marital status. Oh gosh, I have some good options. What do you guys think? If you were married to a guy whose life work was pressure washing cubicles, a job which, to be clear, doesn't exist as far as I know or need done, doesn't sound glamorous. Let's say I wasn't married, but I had a common law marriage. I couldn't take time away from my pressure washing of cubicles to actually have a wedding. So let's say that common law. Is that person, my spouse or partner, coming to Canada with me? I don't know. Honey, you coming to Canada? Oh, I forgot. I'm single and alone. So let's say no, she's not coming to Canada. My spouse or partner is not coming to Canada. Now, let's see. Is my spouse or partner a citizen or a permanent resident of Canada? No, they're also not. Oh, Kim says she got her Explore gear today. I should have worn my t-shirt. If you want some, if you're watching the stream, Kim can show it off for you, maybe on Podcaster Thursday. You can head to thebrandonscott.com and grab some gear, some fancy gear. Mark says, "Why are you taking this? Can't we just get Sasha to be our host?" I know, Sasha. Maybe do you think I should propose to him? If we got married, I could get into Canada. You think Sasha would marry me? I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe his company can sponsor me, huh? See, Jimmy says, look, this is educational, but it takes so long. And Jimmy, you are right. I want to point out we're a half hour in, and I haven't even gotten the application. I'm still taking the quiz to see if I'm eligible to apply. And this is after I got my fingerprints done, my passport photo done. Okay, so has my spouse or partner taken an English test? Well, we said they're not coming to Canada, right? So we didn't make them take a test. Great. Look at this. Based on my answers, I am not eligible for express entry. Womp, womp, womp. We should get that sound effect. I know we have applause, but we need a good womp womp, right? I'm not eligible. Other ways to immigrate, it says, I can try to come to Canada Wizard. Huh? Oh, is there a wizard? Does it even? I can try to come to Canada wizard. What's a Canada wizard? I might I might have to call up Sasha. Is there a wizard there? Are there wizards in Canada? I mean, I know they're like really nice, but I didn't know they were like spooky. Oh, the application. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm just gonna leave. It's meaning the tool. You can try the Come to Canada Wizard tool again. There's no wizards in Canada. False alarm, everyone. False alarm. If I'm still interested in coming to Canada as a skilled immigrant, I can take steps to improve my eligibility. For example, I may need to improve my language score. Y'all were wrong. I do not speak English correctamundally. Irregardless. So I need to I need to be better at English. It's the only language I speak fluently. Although, through my travels, I have picked up. Are you ready for this? I'm gonna blow your minds. Here's my foreign language skills. I can say, you're gonna love this, and if you don't, I don't care because I think it's hysterical. I guess what language this is. Leave a comment below. I'm gonna say the only phrase I know how to say in this language, and I want you to leave your comment. What language do you think I'm speaking? What language is this? Are you ready? Hey. I can't look at myself doing this with a straight face. Okay. Hey, humadu mitnamar Brandon Oakville go por un date? Jag Shugafem Gamel? How'd I do? Leave a comment. What language was that? I'll tell you what I said. I said, hi, my name's Brandon. Do you want to go on a date? I am 26 years old. Any guesses? There's my fancy foreign language skills. Any guesses as to what language that was? Leave a comment below. I'm real curious if y'all will be able to tell because I don't speak the language. My accent is terrible, and every time I speak the language to my friends from this country, it's a good laugh. It's like a party trick. They are rolling in the aisles at how bad it is. So we've learned now, leave a comment for this language, but we've learned now that I need to get a better language score. I am not eligible for this express entry program. I could also go through what we talked about earlier in the show, the provincial nominee program, where if I get a job from a company in Canada, not a job of a company that's moving to Canada, right? So a bummer summer. We didn't make the cut, huh? I think I'm pretty smart and pretty good at Englishes. Huh? Well, all right. So there you go. We didn't make the cut. Now, when we come back from the break, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to kind of buzz through and talk about if I were to make the cut, if I were to be good enough at speaking my Englishes, that I would make the cut, what the process would look like, what it would be like, kind of what that process is. So don't go anywhere right after the break. You're watching Best of Travel live here on IBM TV. Travel. It doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be expensive. When you think of travel, it can be easy to get overwhelmed from pricey airline flights, dates of your hotel, navigating in Ubers and taxis in foreign languages, and currency exchange. It can feel really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Let me help you break down travel into some easy, simple steps, so that way you can take the trip of a lifetime without breaking the bank or stressing yourself out. Travel is more complicated now than ever, so having a guide who's experienced to help you navigate the world of travel can be priceless. And it is priceless. It's free to watch here on IBM TV and free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I'll give you some great travel tips and advice. There's nothing quite like snapping that photo at sunset in Paris, trying great coffee in Colombia, or adventuring around Spain having a great sunny day. Even if you want to travel domestically, From budget travel guides in New Orleans, New York, Paris, and London, to luxury travel guides and everything in between, travel can be so much fun and so much more affordable than you think. I hope you're having a great time watching me here live on IBM TV. I have a ton of fun making Travel Tuesdays Travel with Brandon, and I hope you're having a lot of fun watching. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, swing by my YouTube channel. You can find my YouTube channel full of great travel tips, some travel hacks, some food recommendations, city guides, budget travel tips, and so much more. Subscribing on YouTube is free to do, and it helps support me and continue making great travel content for you to see. You can also visit me online at thebrandonscott.com, where you can get even more travel advice, some great links, and some in-depth breakdowns of trips I've taken and trips you can plan. It's a great way to find a little bit of inspiration for your next adventure and some travel tips. I've got cities both domestic and international that you can check out. Find the best places to eat, the best things to see, the best things to do, and how to do it all affordably. Whether you want to stay at Airbnbs or 5-star luxury hotels, there are great ways you can do all of those things on a budget. Swing by my YouTube channel, give that big red subscribe button some love, and don't forget to visit thebrandonscott.com for even more travel tips. From great photos in Paris, to awesome food in Spain, to wild adventures in Colombia. If you want to adventure and you want to see more, this is the place to do it. Now back to, I guess, live me on IBM TV. Enjoy Travel Tuesdays and Travel with Brandon.
And I ran away out of Otis Gray. I just went out.
No, Dad, I know the quiz said I wasn't good enough at English, and now I can't get into Canada. Oh, I'm back. I'm live again. Oh, just kidding. Just calling my disappointed father that I'm not I'm not skilled or good enough to get into Canada. No, so we are talking about visas, immigration, and some ironic fun travel destinations here on Best of Travel. This is Travel Tuesday. My name's Brandon. Welcome back to IBM TV. Every Tuesday at 11, we're here. So let's resume, shall we? We're talking about immigrating to Canada. So for those of you who say, boy, if the election doesn't go the way I want, I'm leaving. I'm running away. Well, we just spent like 40 minutes taking the eligibility quiz to see if we would even be eligible for the express entry program. And it turns out that my job as a pressure washer of cubicles, and my fictional wife who left me because of my job, we're not able to take advantage of this program. So let's now move on to some other options we might have. So we still have the option to get the short entry visa, the visitor's visa it's called, which will let me hang out in Canada for 6 months, TRV visa. But I can't work and I can't go to school while I'm there. I'm just vacationing for 6 months. So let's say I'm actually, I'm qualified. I lost my job as a pressure washer of cubicles, and now I'm working as a, I don't know, something fancy. And I'm ready to apply. I know I'm eligible. So we're gonna gather all of my stuff, all of my documents, all of my stuff that I need, because I'm gonna need a lot, because it's a lot to do. A fun tangent. When I got my visa for work and residency in Spain, it took 3 months, and I had 2 lawyers doing it. So it's a lot of effort. It can be crazy. It can be crazy. By the way, if you can guess what language it was that I was speaking in the first half of the show, my bad foreign language skills, I'll come up with a reward. But if you can guess, leave a comment below. I'd be curious to see if anybody can guess. So we're gathering our documents. We've got our passport. We took our language test. We went to our local community center. We'll do a lot of these kind of tests for people. We've taken our language test. We've gotten what's called the Educational Credential Assessment Report. Basically, we've documented that our job is a good job and we're able to do it well and we're qualified for that job. We're going to keep that job for a while. We're not going anywhere. If we're working for a company in Canada, we've gotten our offer letter from that company are documenting what the job will be and that we in fact do have that job. We also are going to want to get the police to certify that we have a clean criminal record. Now the question is, how do you get this, right? Because you can't just walk into the police station and ask someone to certify your record. Generally, you're going to need to send a letter to your county or to your local municipality, to their office. It's a whole process, right? You're going to send a letter to them. Chances are they're going to send a letter back saying, no, we don't fulfill this request. You have to go to the blah, blah, blah records library people. And it can be a lot of back and forth of things in the mail. So by this point in time, we've already paid for the test. We've paid for the fingerprints. We've paid for the English test. And now we paid for the documents to show we have a clean criminal record. Now we're going to take a trip to the doctor's office and he's going to, poke and prod and take our blood pressure and make sure that we're good to go. And we're going to need him to fill out a document that says we're good to go. We're okay. We're not at risk of anything. And this is all pre-COVID times. This is what I'm saying. And Jimmy commented earlier how complicated this is. This is all pre-COVID times. Now we got a lot going on. Mark asked if it was Mandarin. It was not Mandarin. I'll give it one more time. Are you ready? Hey, humodu, Oakville go por un date? Huh? Terry asks, what if they deny you? Well, then you don't get to go. That's basically it. You can usually reapply, but if you go through this whole application process and the Canadian government says, no, sorry, you didn't get enough points, or no, sorry, you got enough points, but you weren't selected out of the pool to, come in, well, that's it. Maybe do something to improve your chances, get a better job, or, maybe get someone to sponsor you. But if they say no, that's it. You're stuck. You got no luck. You can always take a visa, like a visitor's visa, to go visit for 6 months and interview for jobs and try and build a network. But in order to actually apply for this visa, you have to do it from outside the United States. You can't be in Canada and apply for your residency visas. You can't be there on your 6-month visitor visa while you're going through the application process for your residency and work visa. The other thing we're going to take, our other document, is our money in the bank, our proof of it. So some sort of statement, financial statement that shows that we're good to go. Now, here's the fun thing. You got 60 days to do all of this. So from the time you start your application, if you're going to do it online, if you're not going to sit there and fill it out by hand, by paper, if you're going to do it online, you have 60 days. So from the time you start your application to the time you, get your English test done, you visit the doctor, you gather your documents, you get the police to certify that you're not a criminal, you go through this whole process. If you don't do it within 60 days, the process starts over. You got to start from square one. You got to do it all again. You got to do it within 60 days. So our time frame is limited here. Our time frame is pretty limited as far as actually getting the visa. So let's say we've gathered all our documents. We've done it within 60 days. Then we're going to pay the application fee, which last I checked about 3 or 4 days ago was about, I think, $1,060 in US dollars. So we paid our $1,000. We paid for the test. We at this point probably spent somewhere in the ballpark of, $1,500 probably just to apply. And then we throw our application in. And from that point, it's a lottery. If they like some of the things on my application, they'll give me some more points. If they don't, I'll get less points. And then if I get enough points, I'll get thrown into a big swimming pool with a bunch of other people, and they'll pick randomly out of that swimming pool. Now, here's what I want to focus on. Here's what, here's the bread and butter. Here's the delightful part. And I promise I'll stop shouting foreign languages that I don't speak at you poorly. Here's the bread and butter. What was I saying? Oh, this is the easy thing to do. We've just spent the better part of an hour trying to talk through the process of applying for this visa. And Canada is one of the easier countries you could apply for a visa in. There are countries, if you're going to, for example, if you're going to go to somewhere like France, maybe you want to move to Paris, you're going to need a lot more. You're going to need, first of all, you're going to need a letter of reference, basically, from whether or not you're working in France. You have to have a letter of record of I guess it's like a recommendation letter from a French citizen. So you have to already know somebody in France who will write a letter saying that you're a good person. You're going to respect the French culture. You're going to be responsible while you're here as a resident. And other countries have other requirements. Some countries require a full FBI background check, and they want copies of that. And they need a copy every time. It doesn't matter that you've had it done before. You can't just reuse it. Every time you apply for that visa, you got to do it again. And there's some countries that have even more strict, policies on immigration. The United States famously is one of them, that it can be very, very strict. I know Mark left a comment earlier that he knows someone who it took 9 years. And we're not even talking about citizenship. I've heard stories of people waiting, 20 years just to get residency and never ending up getting citizenship because they die before their time is up in line. So there are a lot of countries where it is a lot harder. So this is one of the easier processes to go through. So if this sounds like a lot, next time you hear somebody say, boy, if the election doesn't go my way, I'm moving to Canada, send them this episode and and just send them this clip. Are you ready to look straight in the camera for that person? Good luck. How's that? How's that sound? It's a tough process. Getting a visa, immigrating anywhere is a tough process. Canada is one of the easier places to do it, but not the easiest of things to go through. It's really not. It can be really, really, really tough. So I always think, I have to say, I think it's kind of funny because we, like, not to sound too much like a hippie, but borders are made up, right? We've just decided and killed people and had wars over where this arbitrary line on a piece of paper is. Occasionally we'll use a river or something convenient, but we just kind of draw a line and say, that's you and that's me, and you have your thing and I have my thing, and we do it differently. So if you want to do it differently, you got to pay tons of money and really work hard to make that happen. And I think it's so funny because nobody chooses where they're born. Nobody chose to be born in the United States. Nobody chose to be born in any country. Maybe if you're really lucky, your parents were able to have some choice. They were able to, successfully immigrate to the United States and, have their children here. Maybe, but the kids, no person has chosen where they were born. So it's strange to me that we make it such a hard process for us to move to other places. And the other thing I want to point out about this process, let's say we went through this whole process, right? We took the eligibility quiz, we were eligible, we gathered all our documents, we spent the money, we took the educational test to show we can speak English, we got the doctor to certify us, we got everything done, we sent it all in, and we get approved. We get enough points, we get put in the pool, we get pulled from the lottery, and we get approved. We're in Canada, we got our residency, we're good to go. Now, we got to do that all over again in a couple of years. Most of these visas will last a year to maybe 5 years if you're lucky. And then you have to go through that process again of recertifying your visa to say, I'm still this competent person. I can still, stay here. So you don't have citizenship. You got to keep redoing this every time you want to get that visa renewed. So just because you're living and working happily in Canada for 3 to 5 years and you've gotten your visa, well, now it's time to do it again. And you're going to be flying back to the States to get a new passport. I mean, this whole thing never ends. Of course, the ultimate level of this would be citizenship. And kind of the running joke is that to get citizenship in the United States, you have to take a lengthy history test that no American could probably pass, and they kind of joke about it on late night TV, right? And the other end of that joke is to get into Canada, you have to, drink a gallon of maple syrup and eat some poutine, and there you go. And to get into the UK, you want to be a citizen of the UK, you got to pay $5 and £5 and sing "God Save the Queen," and there you go, you're a citizen. Of course, it's all a joke, but it is tough. It is tough. Even though you've gotten the visa, doesn't mean you're there forever. You still have to keep going through this process again and again. You maybe will eventually be able to get citizenship. If you are lucky enough to be able to get citizenship, you still have to work out what you're going to do with your old citizenship. Some countries, Canada and the United States, for example, do allow dual citizenship. You can keep your citizenship in both countries. Some countries don't. And to renounce your United States citizenship, if you're in a country that doesn't allow dual citizenship, or for whatever reason you need to give up your U.S. citizenship, it's going to cost you another $2,500 probably, and it's going to be a few months of process. They want to make sure you have to take evaluations, you have to have interviews. They want you to be really sure you're going to do it, because once you do it, it's nearly impossible to get it back. So it's a hefty, lengthy process. So if there's my little tip of the hat for our election season this year. Next time you hear someone say, I'm running away to Canada, this didn't go the way I wanted, you can let them know that actually that's a tough process and you're 6 months too late. You should have started this months and months ago. It is a lot. It is a lot to do. Now, the flip side of this, of course, as I end every show, I say, we're not traveling now, but I'm going to include in this kind of ending moment, these ending chats, I want to include, not only are we not traveling now, but when we start traveling again, because of the visa situation now is going to look different. So because of the coronavirus, we're going to be looking at Americans who aren't used to needing visas to just vacation somewhere are going to need visas. Everyone is going to need a lot more paperwork and documentation to travel internationally for a while. So this is a process you're going to want to get used to and want to get familiar with. Of course, a tourism visa is a lot easier to get than a work visa. But this idea of, instead of just booking your flight and going, booking your flight, booking a return flight, going to an embassy, doing an interview, scheduling a health examination, those things may very well become the norm in international travel for the foreseeable future. Mark left a comment saying this is all very complicated. It also says you can apply directly to provinces and territories, like applying to North Carolina only. Sort of. The province program is more so if a company or someone in that area wants to sponsor you, and you then would go through a different program. You would go through that provincial program. So if were immigrating to the United States, you still have to do that immigration process, but you're going to go through a different program if you have a job or a business in North Carolina that's going to support you, or if the state of North Carolina is going to vouch for you. Maybe you're a high value person, you're a famous basketball player, and even though the company's not based in North Carolina, whatever, that kind of thing. So it's all about these different programs. And you really have to know before you start this process, you got to do a lot of reading to figure out which program is going to be right for you. So do you have an employer who's going to sponsor you? Do you have a family member there? Are you going to go look for work there? Do you have work already there? Is your job moving there? Are you just transferring by yourself at your employer to live there? All those things are going to be totally different programs that you have to go through. You can do express entry in my situation as Bob, the pressure washer cubicle guy. But it's a lot to go through. It is a lengthy, lengthy process. And as Terry points out, thank you for the comment, Terry. If they deny you, that's it. You're done. You got to just hang tight, and you gotta just chill out, and maybe you can do it again in a few years. Go through that whole process again. And if you get lucky, you'll eventually get there. It is tough. It is really a strange thing to be so strict on, how we all exist together on this big old planet. I know because we've set up these intricate societal structures of us versus them, and our government is different than how their government works, and those people are taking our jobs, and all the kind of hateful, spiteful rhetoric you might hear. It makes it very, very difficult to immigrate to another country. Whether or not it should be, I'll leave up to you, a matter of political opinion. But I hope you're prepared, because when this pandemic lifts, we're going to need visas just to do anything. We're going to expect to need a tourism visa just to take a 2-week vacation to a place, or at least some sort of medical checkup and documentation. It'll be maybe an easy visa to get, or a streamlined visa for some countries, but this is something we're going to want to really get used to. With that being said, I wanted to encourage you all to hop on over to my YouTube channel and hit that red subscribe button. I've got a whole series of budget travel guides, international European travel guides, coffee in Colombia travel guides, cities in the United States travel guides, all sorts of videos and travel content over there. So if you like this show that I do every week here on IBM TV, go check out that YouTube channel as well. You can also visit my website, thebrandonscott.com, to pick up some of that cool merchandise that Kimberly mentioned earlier. Thank you again, Kimberly, for picking up some of those items. I hope you really like them. And you can also get lots of great articles. I have a whole blog for years. I think I've been running that blog of different travel tips, travel hacks, luggage, how to make a travel blog. If you're interested in learning how to do what I do, you can go check out that post. I detailed out how I started a blog and how I started making content and the gear I use and all of that kind of juicy details. So lots and lots of travel content. Every week we get, I'm so fortunate that the lovely folks at IBM TV give me an hour of time to come here and hang out with you guys. So thank you so much for joining and for spending your time with me. Don't forget to tune in every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, where we're going to be just hanging out, talking about travel. Of course, I don't know if you know this, but my show's on Tuesdays, and the United States is having a very important Tuesday coming up. So I thought we'll see what happens that Tuesday. But if things don't go your way and you're thinking I'm running away, come back and watch this episode. I got you. I got you. And then you'll realize maybe I won't run away after all. It is a strange thing, the visa program. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to wrap up. I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me for this hour. Thank you for going through the visa application process for Canada. Don't forget to tune in every Tuesday at 11 here on IBM TV. And don't forget to stick around. We've got lots of great shows here on IBM TV. I make appearances on various shows on Podcasters Thursday. But you can watch later today Celebs Tuesday, where there are some great up-and-coming content creators, celebrities, entrepreneurs. You can meet them all later today on IBM TV. And of course, Humerawood, the show about Hollywood meeting Bollywood, which comes up at 1 p.m. Eastern today. Lots and lots of great content here on IBM TV. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a supporter of IBM TV. As always, stay safe, stay home, wear your mask, socially distance. I want to travel one day again soon, and I know you do too. So be safe, be smart, be savvy. And I will see you next week here on the Best of Travel on IBM TV at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for watching.